Well, good morning everyone. Breakfast with Evo. It's Wednesday morning, halfway through week 7. I hope you're all okay. I'm enjoying a fantastic day of filming out here on the golf course today, and I've finally managed to get myself to the home hole. It's number 18, and today we're going to have a look at hole 18 in detail, show you what it's like to play it from every single tee out here, because lots of you may never have ventured all the way back to the plate where I am now. Well, as I mentioned, it's a beautiful day and I can't wait to finish the hole so I can get myself on the patio for a cold beer. I wish. Anyway, 413 yards to negotiate from this back tee. It's a long way, and the key to this hole is the direction you start the ball in, making sure you commit to the shot and getting yourself on the fairway, and from there it's fairly straightforward. So we'll have a look at the tee shots now, what you should be thinking from this back tee. So let's have a look at that now. Well, you're on the tee, you've come up from 17, you're feeling a little bit puffed out all the way up here, so give yourself a second to just gather your thoughts, because this is a really important moment on this tee. If you stand here, and because you're used to it standing in the middle of the tee, or even on the left-hand side of the tee here, what you've just done now is made the tee shot so much more difficult than you would have done if you'd have got yourself into a position where you set up as far right on the tee box than you can. And the reason why I say that we'd do that is because I've now given myself much more of an angle to the left, because that's where I want my ball to start, down the left hand side. And I always use my draws and fades philosophy on this hole. Point my feet at where I want the ball to start, point the club face at where I want to finish, and we're going to have a look at a little favourite target of mine down there, and they're called the football posts. Some of you might call them the rugby posts, but they're down there, and I wondered whether you've ever spotted them before. They're the two silver birches on the 9th green by the side, just on the run up, and they are the perfect place to aim when you're trying to tee off any of the teeing complexes here on hole 18. So obviously my intention is to not go down the right hand side where it's thick and nasty. You may lose your ball, you certainly won't have much of a shot, and it'll result in you chipping out from that side. We've also got the bank to contend with on the left, and we're going to have a look at that bank today, and we're going to show you how to deal with the bank if your ball goes onto that bank at any time. I'm on the normal white tee here, still a long way, but I'm going to point the goalposts out for you now. There they are over there. You can point out those silver birches. They stick out like a sore thumb. You're going to be aiming at those silver birches, and depending on how far you hit the ball as an individual or the shape you normally hit, then you want to be having a look at either the right hand goalpost or the left hand goalpost. And then there's one little more trick up my sleeve, and of course that's the 150 post, which is to the left of that left hand goalpost. That's an even safer line, so depending on how far you hit it, use that one. Let's have a little wander down the tees now, so come on, walk with me down the steps. Let's go and have a look at this beautiful view as we walk down the hole. We'll walk down our brand new steps here down onto the yellow tee, and for those of you playing off the yellow tee now, just remember that you're going to be looking at the goalposts as well and how the ground cambers off, and you can get caught out from here really quite easily. And that's because if you don't use the right goalpost, you can still go down the right hand side even if your ball lands on the middle of the fairway. But if it lands in the middle of the fairway with the wrong shape, you'll still go down the right, so you've got to be a bit more careful there. Let's pop down to the ladies' tee now, and we're wandering down. Let's have a look at it from here. It's 345 yards from this tee, so it's still quite a long hole for the ladies. But what's even worse is this carry over the ravine. We've got to get up onto the fairway, and here's a tip for everyone. Remember, the shortest route to go if you're struggling to get over this routine is almost over the corner of the artificial path. If you can get yourself over the corner of the artificial path, it's a much shorter carry and you won't end up going down the right. Now, I did Promise you that I was going to show you how to play shots from that bank on the left hand side today. So let's get up there now and show you how to finish the hole off and finish your round off in style. Well, in this instance, I've driven the ball down the left. My trusty fade didn't appear and the ball's run up the bank and it stayed up here, and it's really left me an awkward shot to the green. So remember now, let's go back to Tuesday's session, which was the ball below the feet lesson. And here we are, and I'm standing now and the ball is well below my feet. I crooked my back a bit on Tuesday making that film, so I don't want to lean over too much. So what am I going to do? I'm going to go into my bag and possibly pick out 2 or 3 clubs more than I really need. I've lasered the front of the green. Now remember that, I haven't lasered the pin, I've lasered the front of the green, because in this occasion now, I'm not going to try and play a normal shot. I'm deliberately going to play a low punch, which is going to run onto the green from the left hand side, and I'm going to use those cambers to get my ball chasing along that slope all the way onto the green. Let's come round the other side and I'm going to show you how I'm going to set up to hit this shot. Well, I've taken longer club, and the reason why is because I don't need it to go in the air. I'm not going the aerial route. I've made that decision. Now it's up to me to start it online and get the correct strike on the golf ball. So let's do that now. How are we going to set up? Well, even with a club that's longer, it's got less loft, I've decided to choose something like a 6, 7 or 8 iron, and I'm going to move the ball back in my stance, especially if there's lots and lots of rough on the bank, so that you can hit down on it and get it chasing along. In this situation, there's not too much, so I'm going to almost treat it like a running pitch. I'm going to get the ball back in my stance, but instead of trying to make a steep swing because there's no rough there, I'm going to try and make a shallower swing, and that's going to keep the ball from shooting to the right. Remember, because I'm bent over, my swing will automatically become steep, and I'm going to hit the ball to the right, almost guaranteed. And on this shot, that's the last thing that you need to be doing. So we've got to make sure that we actually get the ball to go straight, or try to play a little draw. So remember those as tips for this shot. Ball back in the stance. Try to close the stance a little bit because that's going to compensate for the slope. Ball back in the stance, and as you can see, I'm going to make a flatter swing, let the arms release past the body. That's going to keep it a lot straighter, and I'm going to try and get the ball to land probably about 10 yards short of the green. It's going to kick to the right, it's going to kick forwards off that downslope, and the rest of it will be done for me by the ground, and the ball will run onto the green to any pin position you like. Remember, if the flag's on the front, you don't necessarily need to be as brave and as aggressive to hit the ball all the way up there. But if it's on the back, it's a big green this, which we'll go and have a look at in a second. But it's a big green, and you'll take a lot of club to get back there, more than you think. So remember, don't discount the long chip and run, punch and run shot from this bank. And by playing it as I've explained, you won't be losing it to the right, and you'll be on the green a lot more often. Well, just look at that. This is such an amazing green site. It's just absolutely fantastic. A real treat. What a finishing hole. And our beautiful clubhouse. And there it is, waiting for you for a lovely carvery or a beer. So let's cast our minds back now to the 20s, the early 20s. And Harry Colt had his vision for this golf course, and he must have thought, yeah, I'll tell you what we'll do on hole 18. We'll move hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of tons of earth, and we'll create this amazing green that juts off this bank, that drops down here by the whole side of hole 17. And what they used to move all this earth back then, Lord only knows. Horses and carts, I guess they probably didn't have vehicles that moved the stuff, excavators that picked it up, But if you look at the extent of this green site, this lovely sweeping run in here, which we just take it for granted, that must have been there already. No, I don't think so. This would have been manufactured into the hole. Absolutely brilliant. Sweeps into the green for that shot that's running in. And of course, that's the area that we wanted that ball to run in from when we were on that left-hand side bank pitching into the green. Look at these bunkers here. They look absolutely amazing after our volunteers of last week have made them look so pretty. Let's get out onto the green now. This is the dead area. We don't want to end up down here because we haven't hit enough club or got the ball chasing now. It's very low here, and we're going to run up onto the green. Huge false front, which was introduced about 12 years ago. Now we're up onto the top of the green, and it's huge. Such an array of pin positions. I love this back right hole position, which is where it is today. Look at that. Right on top here. It's a beautiful view across and down into Kent. And of course, there's the clubhouse. And if you've made that birdie, I think you deserve that beer. Well everyone, that's it for today. Hole 18 in a nutshell, and I hope that little punch shot from the left-hand bank can prove useful to you, not only in that situation, but lots of other situations too. Remember, one of the big messages over the last few weeks has been to experiment with your swing, experiment with your ball positions to get you to hit those different shots. You don't have to be the player that you were 2 months ago anymore. Give it a go. Watch and see how these things happen. You can always have a practice when you're out here on your own, but for today, that's it. Join me again for Breakfast with Evo tomorrow. Thanks for watching. See you all soon.